Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love. It's the day after Valentine's Day, so maybe you spent the weekend celebrating romantic love or unconditional love, but today's practice is all about self-love. So opening up the heart, finding space for empathy and compassion for yourself and for others, and tuning into the equal balance between giving and receiving. My name is Daria. If you're new to my channel, hi. And for today's practice, all you'll need is yourself and a yoga mat. Let's get into it. We'll begin in Supine Konasana, or reclined bound angle pose. Lie down flat on your back and bring the soles of your feet together to touch, letting your knees fall out wide, creating a supine butterfly shape. Bring your right palm to your low belly and your left palm to your chest over your heart. Close your eyes and soften your gaze, and right away find some relaxation. Just letting your body melt into the mat, allowing your knees to surrender to gravity as the hips start to open. Breathe into your low belly, feeling your right hand expand and rise with the breath. And then as you continue to inhale, start to send the breath up into your torso, allowing the rib cage to expand outward. And then let more air rise to the upper chest and top of the lungs, opening the heart and feeling the left palm rise. Pause at the top of the breath, and then send the exhale back down through the body in reverse. So releasing from the upper chest, and then into the ribs and the torso, and finally melting all the way down through the low belly. We'll take 5 more full rounds of breath just like this. Imagine that the breath is moving through your body like a wave, filling up evenly from bottom to top, and then back down from top to bottom. Send awareness to the length of your inhales and your exhales, and see if you can find an evenness here too. So maybe inhaling for a count of 5, and then also exhaling for a count of 5. As you feel the breath move in and out through the chest, imagine an inner glow, the color green, lighting up from the heart. Throughout this practice, continue to flow through even, steady cycles of breath to help remind us of the equal balance between giving and receiving. At the bottom of your next exhale, release your palms and then draw your knees back together to touch. Roll up the length of the spine and slowly make your way to a tabletop position with shoulders stacked above wrists and hips right over the knees. Inhale for cow pose. Lower your belly, lift your hips, and lift your gaze, letting your heart open up between your arms. And exhale for cat. Press your palms down into the earth and draw your belly button in and up so much that your spine curls up toward the ceiling, opening the back of the heart. Inhale for cow. Articulate through each vertebra, sending the hips and gaze up. And here, imagine that the crown of the head and the sacrum are magnetized toward each other, so they're just pulling together. And then exhale for cat. Draw navel to spine, and now magnetize the forehead and hip points together, finding that deep, beautiful Halloween cat curl. Move through a few more cat-cows at your own pace, just warming up the spine with new blood flow and energy. Good. Return to a neutral tabletop. Inhale, ground down through your left palm and reach your right fingertips high. Exhale and thread the needle, Send your right arm through until your right shoulder and cheek meet the mat. Keep your left palm grounded and use it as leverage to find a gentle twist in the thoracic spine. You also have the option here of extending your left arm forward or maybe even reaching it all the way up and around for a bind. Personally, I kind of like to keep the left palm grounded just to have a little bit more focus on that thoracic spine twist. Hips stay square, hovering right over the knees. Inhale, reach the right fingertips back up high, and then exhale for tabletop. This time, ground down through the right palm, and inhale, the left arm rises. Exhale, thread the needle, sending the left arm through. Take whatever arm position you took with the right arm on the other side, so maybe it stays planted, or maybe you reach forward, or all the way up and around. Breathe deeply. Find opening in the shoulders and the chest, and then relax your neck, your face, and your mind. Gentle twist. Open your heart. Inhale the left fingertips back up high, grounding down through the right palm, and then exhale back to tabletop. From here, tuck your toes behind you and exhale, downward facing dog. Press down firmly through your palms, draw the low ribs together, and then send your hips high up and back. Pedal out your feet, bending into one knee and then the other, or just take whatever movement your body is craving in your first downward facing dog of the day. You have the option of stepping your feet as wide as your mat to create more space along the back line of the body. This might be especially good if you have super tight hamstrings. Press firmly through your thumb, your index fingers, and then each fingertip to broaden the space between the shoulder blades. It might also feel good to keep the knees slightly bent, allowing the spine to lengthen and taking pressure out of the low back. Again, a good option if you have tight hamstrings. Inhale, and then roll your body forward like a wave to high plank pose. Stay active in your palms, pressing away from the floor and creating a dome-like effect between the shoulders. From here, isometrically traction your palms and toes together, firing up the abs. So without moving, but just feeling that energy moving between the hands and the feet to light up the core. And now see if you can find some lightness here, using that solid base you set up to float up and away from the mat. Good. Inhale and hinge forward slightly so your shoulders move in front of your wrists. Exhale and then lower all the way down to your belly, drawing your elbows into your rib cage. Walk your palms forward, maybe about a foot, so that your elbows come right under your shoulders and keep your forearms parallel in front of you. Inhale for Sphinx pose. Lift your head and your upper torso away from the mat, and then lift your belly button slightly up to support your lower back. Shine your heart forward like a spotlight, creating space between the collarbones in this gentle back bend. Firm your glutes and your quads, but pay attention, make sure not to clench these areas. Just some light engagement. And stay for 2 more rounds of even, steady breath, coming back to that idea of equal giving, equal receiving. Exhale and slowly release the belly and chest back down to the mat. Send your right arm out to the side and ground your left palm under your shoulder, and then bend your left heel in toward your hamstring. Press down through your left palm and roll over onto the right side of your body, placing the left foot down behind you, finding a deep shoulder stretch. If you've been practicing with me on my channel, you know that the more deeply you breathe, the more deeply you'll be able to stretch, release, and relax. If you'd like a little more, if you'd like to take this a little bit deeper, you have the option to roll farther onto your right shoulder so that you can place your right foot all the way flat on the mat, so you'll move your hips a little bit too. You may even be able to reach your left hand all the way up and around to clasp your right. Just find what feels good in your unique body, your unique anatomy, without judgment or expectations. Roll back through the midline and change sides. This time the right palm will ground beneath your shoulder and the left arm will go out long to the side. Roll over onto the left side of the body so your right foot plants all the way behind you. You can stay here or take any variation to deepen. Wherever you are, allow your smooth, steady breath to move into the chest and shoulder muscles, clearing tension, finding expansiveness and openness, really getting in deep to the front of the left shoulder. See if you can relax your scalp, even the roots of your hair, and then all the tiny muscles in your face, in your mouth. Return to center. Place your palms down beneath your shoulders and press yourself all the way back up into high plank, or you have the option to move through tabletop for your transition. From high plank, exhale for downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Inhale to look forward, and exhale, step to the top of your mat for Ragdoll pose. Keep your feet hips distance apart, bend your knees generously, and allow your torso to just hang, to drape heavy over your legs. Your crown of your head is lengthening toward the mat. If it feels okay on your shoulders, you can bring your palms together to touch at the base of your spine and interlace your fingertips. Lift your arms up and away and find a chest expansion. If you feel any discomfort with the chest expansion, just take whatever arm variation feels good for you. You can grab for opposite elbows or just keep your fingertips planted to the ground. Lengthen the spine. Open the heart if you're taking the chest expansion, and let the breath move like waves through the whole body. Slowly release your palms back down. Bring your feet together to touch, and then roll up the length of the spine one vertebra at a time, coming to stand at the top of the mat. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Root down through all four corners of your feet as you reach your arms out and up. Feel the arches of the feet slightly lifted, legs engaged, low ribs together, shoulders soft away from the ears, and pinkies spiraling toward the front of the room. Inhale to grow a little taller through the spine, and exhale, back bend. Cactus your arms, firm your glutes, send your hip points slightly forward and shift your gaze up and back. Maybe your heart reaches up toward the sky. Inhale, engage your core to rise back to Tadasana, and exhale, forward fold, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Glide your palms up your shins and create a flat back, just ironing out the spine. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plant your palms and step back to a high plank. Inhale to hinge slightly forward, and then exhale, lower down halfway, drawing your elbows into your rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, wide collarbones, open heart shining forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your belly button up to your spine to initiate the lift of your hips up and back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Send one long line of energy out the crown of your head and your tailbone. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, back bend with goddess arms, maybe taking it slightly deeper this round. Find your edge. Inhale, rise, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. With Chaturanga, you always have the option of taking it on your knees or also moving through Cobra back to downward facing dog. Listen to your body and take what feels good for you. We'll meet in downward facing dog. One more time through this Sun A. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Ground down to rise up. Exhale, back bend, maybe your deepest one so far. Find your edge, but being conscious not to take any posture past the threshold of discomfort and into pain. Inhale, use your core to rise back up, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, Chaturanga. Take your version, your flow. Just making your way back to downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Take a big inhale and one open mouth exhale, just finding something to let go. Inhale and kick your right heel high, keeping your hips square to the mat. Exhale, low lunge, engage your core to transition your right foot between your palms. Step through. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Press firmly through all four corners of your right foot and the ball of your left foot. Imagine your feet pulling together, lighting up your inner thighs, creating your solid foundation. Interlace your fingers together overhead, releasing just the index fingers, pointing upward. Imagine energy moving up through the index fingers, so much so that this energy moves you into a small back bend, up and back. You have the option to lower down to your back knee for some added stability here. Elongate your side bodies and shine your heart up to the sky, sending the glow from your heart center up and back. Take open mouth exhales. Beautiful. Engage your core and slowly rise, releasing the grip of the hands. Exhale, bring your palms together at heart center. Inhale to shift your torso forward slightly, and then exhale, revolved crescent lunge. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right leg and twist. Again here, it's an option to stay down on your back knee, and this will help you to focus more on the twisting action and less on balancing in the posture. Wherever you are, see if you can draw your palms away from your right armpit and closer to heart center, using your left elbow as leverage. Take your gaze over your right elbow and see if you can slide your left eye all the way up to the ceiling. Good. Inhale, high crescent lunge, rise back to center. Exhale, pyramid pose. Step your back foot in slightly and let your toes open on your back foot at about a 45-degree angle. Bring your fingertips down to frame your front leg and fold forward with a long spine. If you have tight hamstrings or the floor is not accessible to you, you have the option to bring yoga blocks or a stack of books, whatever you have nearby, beneath your palms for that grounding support. If you want to take this pose a little deeper, you have the option of bringing your palms together in prayer behind your back. So this will challenge your balance and open your chest and your heart. Come back to your breath, just a steady wave washing through the whole body and the mind, softening points of tension. One more breath. Keeping the feet deeply rooted, inhale and rise all the way up to stand. Release your palms to your sides if they were still in prayer, and launch onto your right foot, drawing your left heel in, a big transition. Grab for the inside of your left foot and reach your right arm high, setting up for dancer's pose, Natarajasana. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, kick your foot into your palm as you arch your spine and send your chest and your heart forward. Keep your hips square to the top of your mat. Engage your left glute to kick more deeply into your palm and shift your torso forward only as much as you kick. So it's an even give and take. Find a steady point to gaze to help you balance. 2 more breaths here. Last exhale, kick a little bit deeper. And then inhale, rise up. Release your left foot down to the mat. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, and let your spine release from that big back bend. Letting everything fall heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, whatever your version is. Another option is to take Ekapada Chaturanga, so one-legged Chaturanga. This would mean your right foot would hover off the mat from your high to low plank. From down dog, inhale to kick your left leg high with square hips. Exhale, low lunge, step through belly button to spine. Inhale, high crescent lunge, legs like train tracks, solid base again as you rise. Traction your legs together, drawing the low ribs in and up. Interlace your hands overhead, releasing the index finger. And inhale to find your longest spine. Exhale, back bend. Again, option to lower down to the back knee if you did so on the other side. Send your hip points forward and engage your core to protect your low back. Release tension in the neck, resisting the urge to hold and just letting your head fall heavy, taking open mouth exhales. Inhale to rise back up and exhale, palms together at heart center. Inhale to hinge the torso forward. Exhale, revolved crescent lunge. This time right elbow hooks outside the left leg. Work to keep long side bodies and a long spine with your belly engaged. And as you inhale, find length. As you exhale, deepen the twist. See if you can relax the scalp, relax the jaw, and eventually tip the right eye all the way up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Inhale, rise back up to high crescent lunge. And then exhale for pyramid pose. This time stepping the right foot in, toes pointing out. Release the torso down over your front leg. Bring hands on blocks to lessen the intensity. Or for more, find your solid foundation and bring the palms together in prayer behind the back. Breathe into the left hamstring, untangling knots, cleaning and clearing space for the stretch. Keep a micro bend in the front knee to protect the joint, especially if you have a tendency to hyperextend like I do. On your next inhale, send roots down deeply through both feet and rise all the way back up with a flat back. Release your palms if they were in prayer, and step into your left foot for that big transition, kicking your right heel into your glute. Set up for dancer's pose on this side. Grab your right foot from the inside and reach your left fingertips high, shoulders soft away from the ear. Inhale with a long spine, and then exhale, kick from the glute and send your torso forward. Wherever you are in this posture is where you're supposed to be. So try to release any expectations of where you should be and just focus on floating your right heel slightly higher with every kick, with every exhale. Find a steady, unwavering point of focus, gaze, to support your balance. Last effort, last kick. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, release the right foot to the ground. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, Chaturanga, your version, the last one of class. We meet again in downward facing dog. When you get there, come back to your breath and take 3 rounds of breath with open mouth exhales. Notice how your body feels now compared to when you started class, or compared to when you first took your first downward facing dog of this practice. Have you found more openness, more brightness, more expansiveness in the mind and body? Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, lower the knees down to the mat. Come up to standing on your knees, setting up for Camel pose, Ustrasana. Knees are hips distance apart, and your toes can either touch behind you or stay parallel and in line with your knees. This is just personal preference, whatever feels best in your body. Bring your palms to your low back with fingertips facing down. Inhale as you press your palms into your back and send your hips forward, and then exhale to find Camel pose, deep back bend. Go back any amount. So maybe just simply lifting your eyes and chest upward is enough for you today. This pose can be really intense, so take what is feeling good for you. Maybe you reach all the way back for your heels and find the full expression of the posture. Wherever you are, take open mouth exhales and imagine your heart glowing green, opening, radiating upward. As you inhale, receive that glow, and as you exhale, send it outward with your breath. If you did reach back for your heels, bring your palms back up to support your low back now, and use your core to rise all the way back up. Sit down on your heels and close your eyes. Maybe bring one palm to your low belly and the other to your heart. Notice any sensations that may arise from this deep back bend without judgment, but with compassion. And use your breath to ground yourself in the present. Feel the heart rate slow. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale to kick your right heel high, and exhale, find half pigeon on the right. Bring the right knee to the right wrist and set up your front leg at whatever angle is accessible to you. Check that your left leg is directly behind you in line with the hip, and then fold forward any amount for sleeping pigeon. You always have the option of taking a block or a pillow under your forearms or chest for added support to let this feel a little more comfortable. With every exhale, allow your hips to melt closer to the earth. Relax the jaw. The jaws and the hips are linked. You have the option here to take a deepening variation by threading the needle. So if you want to take this option, you'll send your left arm through and down to the mat. If this is too much for you today, feel free to stay where you are and stay with the breath. Let your entire body surrender to gravity, resisting the urge to engage, to tense, and just allowing this beautiful hip opener to be restorative. One more breath cycle on this side. See if you can find something else to release. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, downward facing dog. You can stay here or take any counter stretch that your body is craving. Maybe kick your leg high, open your hip and take knee circles, or option to move into wild thing for one last back bend and heart opener. If you take this option, your right leg will step all the way up and around to your mat. And then when you're ready, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high, and exhale, find half pigeon on the left. Set up the posture before you fold forward. From there, all you have to do is relax and surrender. Get comfortable. Resist the urge to grip any muscles. Sometimes it really can be harder to disengage the muscles than it is to engage. So practice patience and compassion with yourself as you continue to work on deeper relaxation. If you did so on the other side, you can thread the needle, so this time sending the right arm through. Deep, steady breath wherever you are. Let the breath move through the outside of the left hip, through any points of tension, cleaning, releasing, relaxing, and opening. Come up out of the stretch and press your way back to downward facing dog. Or take a counter stretch. Again, option for wild thing, option to open the hip, take knee circles, or option to just stay in downward facing dog for a few more cleansing breaths. Come back to down dog if you're not already there, and then release your knees to the mat and make your way to lie flat on your back. We'll take one more posture before Savasana. Happy baby. Bring your knees into your chest and then lift your heels high, grabbing for the outsides of both feet. See if you can keep your entire spine flat along the length of the mat all the way down to the tailbone. Maybe play with straightening one leg and then the other, or both at once. Or take whatever your body is craving as some last movement before our final resting pose. Inhale, draw your knees into your chest, lift your shoulder blades up and off the mat, and curl into the tightest ball, giving yourself a big warm hug. And exhale, Savasana. Release everything down. Long legs, long arms. Let your palms face up toward the ceiling and allow your toes to fall open. Close your eyes. Breathe naturally. There's no need to try to manage the breath or control the breath here. Let muscles melt away from bone as you start to find deep relaxation in the body and the mind. Feel each point of connection where your skin touches the mat or the ground, fully supported, fully grounded, and let your body melt down like chocolate. Imagine a light in the middle of the chest at heart center, a warm glow. And then start to send that glow throughout your body, all the way through the chest, the ribs, and the belly, out through the shoulders, the arms, all the way down to the fingertips. Send the glow to the hips, down the legs, and out the toes. Feel this warmth, this inner glow light you up from the inside out with good, new, bright energy. You can stay here as long as you have time to soak up all this good energy you just created. But if you're ready to move on, start to bring small movements back to your fingertips and to your toes. Roll your head from side to side. Maybe take a long body stretch, reaching your arms all the way up and back behind you, stretching your toes forward, waking up the body. And when you're ready, make your way all the way up to an easy seat, Sukhasana. You can move through a fetal pose to get there if you like. Keep your eyes closed or soften your gaze. Bring the base of your palms and your fingertips together to touch at heart center, leaving a separation between the middle of the palms. Take a full breath into this space and imagine it filling up with that warm light and love. Let the inner glow you found in this practice carry you through the rest of your day with brightness and openness, compassion for yourself and for others. Thank your body, thank your mind for showing up to practice self-love and compassion today. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. I hope you're feeling some self-love, some openness, open heart, and just reminder to come back to this practice anytime that you need to remember some compassion for yourself. But anyway, go down below before you go, give this video a like, hit subscribe because that really supports my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!